Good morning. What's going on, guys? Good to see you. RL Chance, thank you for the good morning there. Today is going to be a great day. Today's going to be a great day because I'm going to share some information with you today, and it could literally change your life. It changed my life, I will tell you that. And I want to tell you also, today's my birthday. And I don't tell you that to get a bunch of birthday wishes, but if you want to say happy birthday, okay, that's okay. But the reason I tell you that is it's a celebration. Now, today is not a celebration because it's my birthday. Every day is a celebration, guys. I know a lot of you out there may not be living the life you want. At the end of this video today, you may actually change and start living the life you want. I'm going to go through 15 things that are really red flags. If you're working a job, and a lot of these things are coming up when I talk about them today, and you want to go to the very end because there's some of the strongest ones are at the end. If these things resonate with you, you need to quit your job. Now, I'm not telling you how to run your life or if you have enough money in the bank or any of that stuff, but I will tell you this. I quit my job was it 2010, I believe it was. And I've never been happier. It's never been a better time for me. My life has changed. You know, I wake up today and I look around and I'm like, wow, I got this nice house. I'm living where I want. I'm getting ready to head off to Rome with my wife to celebrate her birthday. That would have never happened in my old job. I could barely get off to take a vacation. They wouldn't hardly let me off to go to a doctor's appointment, of which I had a pretty scary situation in 2016 where I had heart surgery. And you know what? That kind of saved my life. And my old job, I probably would have died because they wouldn't have let me off to get checked out. So share some of your stories today in that chat section. Let me know, do these things resonate with you on your job? When I quit my job, yeah, it was scary. It was scary, and it'll be scary for you too. But I'm telling you, if you set it up right, okay, and I think I set it up right. I had a little money in the bank, not much, but a little bit, and then I lost a bunch, and I won't get into that story today. But bottom line is, I really, really did not want to work for somebody else. And if you have the same mindset, and we're going to find out if you have the same mindset, because today is kind of like a test. Today, I'm going to actually ask you a bunch of questions to see if you fit into this thing where you should quit your job. I fit into it. So I quit my job. And if you fit into it, you need to do the same thing. You really do. I've never been happier than I am now. I've never enjoyed my life more than I am now. And it has a lot to do with the fact that I quit my job. I was not fulfilled in my old job. I didn't like my boss. It was just uncomfortable. There was nothing about it that I liked. Okay. And I didn't want to live that way. I didn't want to live the rest of my, life like that. You probably don't either, but you're probably not sure if you should. Today will be the definitive, reason if you should or not. Now, some of you may not be watching this live, and I understand probably 99.9% of the views I get on these videos when I do these lives are people who are viewing it not live. And that's okay. You can still communicate with me. Do it in that comment section. I want to hear if you relate to some of these things. I want to hear if these things are something that's really been gnawing at you. Okay. All right. So let's jump right into it. And I want to give you the first one. This was one I really, really resonated with because I was really interested in the internet. In my last company, I was trying to get them to market more on the internet and do stuff. But unfortunately, I was running the sales organization and they had an advertising organization that thought they knew everything and they didn't know crap. They were terrible at what they did. And every time I tried to give them some advice, they looked at it as me encroaching on their territory. So the number one is you are underusing your skills. Okay. Although you can feel comfortable, and it may be a job that's not challenging you. Maybe it's not enough for you. My job didn't challenge me in what I was doing. Okay. It was just every day the same thing over and over again. And it drove me crazy because I knew there were other things I wanted to learn and other things I wanted to do, and I couldn't do them in that job. Now, I'm very thankful that they didn't allow me. I really am. And the reason I'm thankful is had they allowed me, I would have built up their business and never built my own business. I would have done a lot of marketing online and really helped them out. And they wouldn't have helped me out, okay, outside of maybe help me out of my job. So if you have opportunities that you see out there that you can't, fulfill in your job, that may be a sign you need to quit your job, okay? So that's what we're going to do. And everyone, I'm going to say that may be a sign that you should quit your job. You are not following your passion. Are you in a job that you're just not excited about? When you're passionate about your work, it really creates a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. That's what my job does now. Okay. I have a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. I know I'm helping people make money online. And when you have this higher purpose, what it does is it increases the rates of productivity. It improves your outcome. And sometimes you get a feeling that you're not even working at all. You're just doing stuff that you like. Without this, work can feel monotonous. It can feel more like a job than a career. You may also feel like you're wasting your potential by not using your skills. That's how I felt for something you're not even passionate about, which I wasn't. If you don't feel excited about the work you're doing or the work your company is doing, it may be time you quit your job. It may be time you quit your job. That's number 2, in case you're keeping track. We got 15 of these today, not a whole lot, but I want you to also feel free to put comments in here. Look at that chat box, put your comments in there. If you're not watching it live, put it in look at the chat box, put your chat in there. And if you're not watching this live, put it in the comments below. Also, I didn't ask you to do something. I need you to give me a thumbs up on this video. Super important that you do that. Also, I need you to subscribe. If this kind of information is what you're looking for, if this is the kind of stuff that you like, hit that subscribe button down there. Turn it from red to gray. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified every time I go live or if I upload a video. Like this live one here, you would have been notified if you were on my subscriber list. If you turned on notifications, you got to turn on notifications. It's really important that you do that. Okay, number 3. This is another thing I experienced. So far I've experienced two out of the 3 I've talked about, but this would make it 3 out of 3. The work environment is unhealthy. The work environment is unhealthy. Now, what do we mean by that? An unhealthy work environment has implications for your professional and personal happiness. And it's a sign that you should quit your job, okay? Examples of an unhealthy work environment could include things like punitive people, controlling management practices. This is what I dealt with. Distrust, dishonesty among senior leaders. This is exactly what I dealt with. My boss, my direct boss, was an a-hole. Okay, he's passed away since then. He died of a drug overdose. Okay, he was not a nice person. And not that all people who are hooked on drugs are bad people, but he was. Okay, symptoms of an unhealthy work environment could include things like high employee turnover. Oh my God, we had the highest employee turnover. Physical symptoms associated with coming to work. I was not happy when I got to work. Employees not speaking honestly for fear of retaliation. That's exactly the situation I was in, because my position, I had my boss and then the owner. And my boss wouldn't, oh my God, he didn't want you to talk to the owner, didn't want you to do that. And if you did, you were going to be reprimanded in some way, or you were going to be demoted, or something was going to happen to you. Don't dare talk to his boss. He was afraid of that. If you find yourself in an environment like this, you want to research coping strategies. Yeah, but guess what? It may be time, for you to quit your job. Can you relate to some of this stuff? Does this make sense to you? It's craziness. It's craziness. Okay, so I got 3 out of 3. Are you keeping count? How many do you got? Put it in the comment below. And as I go through this video, you can say 3 out of 3, 4 out of 5, 6 out of 9, whatever it is, and let me know where you're at. Right now, I got 3 out of 3. Number 4, there are no opportunities for growth. Okay, so the position I was in was about as high as you could go without getting percent ownership. They already had, I think, probably 4 people that had some form of ownership, and I didn't see that I was going to get any more, ownership. That I had reached the top level. That was it. Number 4 is, so that number 4 is there are no more opportunities for growth. I had no more opportunities for growth. When there are no longer opportunities for growth in your organization, it's usually time to get out of there, guys, because you don't want to stay in the same position forever. And God forbid you stay there until you're, 50, 60, whatever it is, and then they fire you. Now you got to go out and look for another job. Opportunities for growth are not limited to promotions or vertical advances in an organization. Opportunities also can come from the form of working on a new project. I didn't have any new projects I could work on. There's nothing else I could do. Same crap every single day. Learning a new branch of the business, or being mentioned by a senior leader, or taking on a mid-level management type position. I was already at top level. There was nothing there. Before quitting, engage your manager and talk to them if you want to do this. I didn't even want to do this. There was nothing for me. The organization, if they're not open to any type of growth opportunity, guess what? It may be time you quit your job. That's number 4. If you're keeping track, that's number 4. Okay. All right. Let me move on here. And I want to check something real quick here. Make sure all my connections are working well. Okay. That's not the right one I clicked on. There you go. But we got through number 4. We only got 15. Let's see here. All right. Let me get back to my list. We're going to hit number 5. What's number 5? Number 5 is the company's future is in question. Now, I saw this on the wall, so now I'm 5 out of 5. I saw that they were kind of running this place in the ground. They didn't care about their employees anymore. They were rude to people. They underpaid people. They just weren't nice people. And by the way, this company I'm talking about, I won't say their name, but they have since sold out. They ran it so far into the ground, they finally just sold it. Although many companies experience cycles of highs and lows. Okay, we all get that. If your company is significantly underperforming or in legitimate danger of closing, you need to consider getting out of there, guys, before you go down with the ship. In a for-profit organization, this means that their sales and revenues are high. If they're not high, when you measure them against all their competitors, it could be a problem. Reviewing your company's annual financial reports, if they're a public company, can provide insight. If they're a private company, you're not going to know, but you could probably look around and tell. Financial challenges can also jeopardize the future of nonprofit organizations too. So even if it's a nonprofit, staff layoffs, I saw that going on, reduction in client base, salary freezes, closing of select offices are all additional signs that your organization's financial future could be in question. What does that mean? What does it mean? It means you should quit your job. Maybe it's time to quit your job. Okay, that's number 5. I'm 5 out of 5. Don't forget to put it in the chat, put in the comments. How many are you at this point in the video? Okay, because we got 10 more to go. Number 6, your ethics are being compromised. Now that was something I saw on a daily basis. I saw how they made you do things that weren't right to do. And I knew they weren't right. They knew they weren't right. Their hiring practices weren't right. They were unethical. They were, gosh, dare I say, they only wanted to hire certain kinds of people, which really bothered me too. And it had nothing to do with their skills. I was really, really against that. Anytime you are in a situation that requires you to compromise your ethics or decision-making, it's definitely time to leave. And I knew that was time to leave for me because I saw what they were doing as far as hiring practices. This is especially true in professional settings because of the potential long-term implications for your career, because you're going to get labeled if you work for a company that's known to only hire people that look a certain way or a certain gender of people. Okay. That's wrong. That's just totally wrong. And you're going to get labeled. Even if the compromise feels necessary to survive in your current job, compromising your values can really have a negative effect on your ability to get a future job because you are going to be labeled, like I said, for working at this bad company. A common example of unethical compromise is when employees implement harmful or misleading consumer policies because they generate more revenue. You can't just make more money and take advantage of people. And if you see this going on, if you see you're being told you've got to do certain things that you don't feel right about, it may be time to leave your job. Okay, maybe time to leave your job. Maybe time to quit. That's number 6. So far, I'm 6 for 6. Where are you at? Are you 6 for 6? Are you 2 for 6? What are you? Let me know in that chat section. Let me know in the comment section. Participate, guys. That's really important. Number 7, you are way underpaid. You are way underpaid. Now, I knew I was way underpaid. I was working a ton of hours and they just weren't paying me what I was worth. Although people sometimes accept a lower salary in exchange for unique opportunity or non-financial fringe benefits, if you are really underpaid, undercompensated for your job, you should consider leaving. Being undercompensated can reflect a mismatch with what you and the company perceive to be your value and growth potential. I knew I was underpaid and I knew I didn't have that growth potential because my boss was afraid of the things that I knew. He was afraid that I was going to implement stuff to make him look like he didn't know something. So he would always kind of try to crush you down. This mismatch can have many different implications for the responsibilities that you were assigned and your longevity with the organization. See, I didn't know if I kept getting older and older, they were just going to fire me one day And then I had to go out and start all over again. I might as well start all over while I was there, which is what I did. Staying in the situation can also lead to frustration, resentment because of the logistical lifestyle that you got to live, lower salary, subpar health care, or reduced benefits, whatever it may be. It may be time you quit your job. So far, I'm 7 for 7. Where are you at? Are you 7 for 7? Are you 6 for 7? I'm 7 for 7. Number 8, your values are not aligned with those of the organization. Now I'm 8 for 8. I'm definitely 8 for 8, okay? Related to following your passion and compromised ethics, if your personal values are not aligned with your organization, it's likely an indicator that you need to leave. If the misalignment was not already resulted in pressure to compromise your ethics, it is likely to be in the future if they haven't done it already. Not being lined up with your organization leaders has implication beyond ethics. I remember some of the higher ups, the percent owners, would go and play golf for the weekends with certain managers. I don't play golf. They would go out and I don't know, pick up women or whatever. And I don't go out and do that stuff. That wasn't my thing. But if you didn't do that, you weren't on the in crowd. I didn't want to be in the in crowd. It can result in varying approaches to your work, offering you prioritizations of assignments. And that's what I saw going on because I didn't hang out with them after work. I went home, took care of my kids. I was a single dad. So that I knew that hurt my chances of getting anything. So if you see that going on, before this misalignment, causes you problems at your job, missed opportunities, it may be time to quit your job. Okay? If your values aren't aligned, that's number 8. And I am right now 8 for 8. I'm doing good. 8 for 8. Look at that, man. I got a perfect score so far. I got a perfect score that I should quit my job, but I do have a perfect score. How are you doing? What's your score like right now? Is your score perfect? If it's perfect, you got a problem. It's probably time you quit your job. Let's look at number 9. You are no longer able to fulfill your job responsibilities. Now, what does this mean? Now, as a result of, say, physical illness, recent changes in your personal life, or structural changes with the organization, if you are not able to fulfill your job responsibilities, you should consider quitting. I had kids at home. I had 2 kids at home, single dad, and I couldn't spend the time with them that I wanted to do, okay? Which meant I couldn't do what they wanted me to do in that job. Staying in a job when your ability to perform your job opportunities is compromised really kind of leaves you open to termination, okay? So if I took time off to watch one of my kids' sports events and I wasn't at the business, then that opened me up to termination because I wasn't there. In addition to the immediate financial impact of termination, being fired can also negatively impact your ability to gain a job someplace else. I didn't want to be fired. I didn't want to have to go to another business and say, hey, I got fired. Will you hire me? They're going to say, well, why did you get fired? Okay. I wanted to quit on my terms. Okay. Being fired can really hurt your career path, guys. If attempts to adjust your job responsibilities or the circumstances creating the challenge are unnecessary, guess what? It may be time to quit your job. Okay. I'm 9 for 9. What are you? I am 9 for 9. Boy, I'm doing good on this thing, aren't I? All right, what's my number 10? I got my number 10 going up. Are you following along? Do you notice some of these things? If you do, put it in the comment section below. I want to hear, do you notice these things happening? Number 10, there are substantially better opportunities available at other organizations. Now, this was not my case, so I'm not going to be 10 for 10 now, okay? All the other organizations that did what we did were pretty much the same. I mean, they had little variances, but basically they were the same. So I'm not going to buy in on this one, but maybe you do. Even at jobs that you're comfortable with, a positive work environment, supportive colleagues, even if all that's true, if there's better opportunities at other organizations in your field, you may want to consider looking at them, okay? Not necessarily, starting your own business, which is what I did and what this channel is all about, but maybe you just want to move over to another company. This includes opportunities for higher salaries, career advancement, broader professional network, professional fulfillment. Look at all these things. Even if there is not one specific opportunity you are pursuing elsewhere, if thorough research of other companies reveals better opportunities outside of your organization, you got to consider quitting. When you do this, being thoughtful about your job search can help ensure that you choose an organization that will actually match up to who you are. And if there's better opportunities, you may want to consider quitting your job. Okay. You may want to consider doing that. So I'm now 9 for 10. Where are you at? Put it in the chat, put it in the comment section. I want to hear where you're at. Number 11, you need more work-life balance. Now I'm hitting on this one, okay? I needed more work-life balance. I wanted to be able to do some things. I want to be able to go to the gym during the day. I want to be able to exercise. I want to be able to see my kids. I want to be able to take more trips. If you need more life balance, it may be time to consider leaving there. A strong work ethic is positive. I'm not saying it's not, and I work hard, but occasional overwork is inevitable. If you find yourself working constantly, it's a sign that maybe it's time to leave. Working with an excessive number of hours a week really takes away from your entire life. You only got this one life, guys. You're going to give it to somebody else to decide what's going to happen with you. Is that really what you're going to do? I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it. It was affecting my health, and I couldn't go to the gym, and I couldn't leave and eat a decent meal, right? It affected me. If you notice this going on, if you notice that it's affecting your work-life balance, if there's other things you'd like to be doing, you find yourself on your job going, man, I'm wasting a lot of time here. It may be time to quit your job, okay? It may be time. So I'm 10 out of 11 now, only because in my industry, there weren't a lot of other opportunities like what I had, because I had reached the top level of what that industry was. Number 12. You dread going to work. Okay. I'm going to buy in on this one. I'm 11 out of 12. If you feel sad when the weekend is over, I remember when we were closed on Sundays. A lot of times we weren't closed on Sundays. We had work Sundays too. But I remember on Sundays, I started feeling bad almost when I got up in the morning, because I knew the next day I had to be at work. If this is happening to you, if you're starting to feel bad the night before, the afternoon before, the morning before, that you got to go to your job, you may want to consider going someplace else. I mean, my stomach would be churning. Does this happen to you? Did you lose any sleep thinking about being anxious about going to work again? You know, work doesn't always have to feel fulfilling and fun all the time. I get that, but you should feel comfortable there. You should feel good about it. You spend a large chunk of your day at work, and if your time off is spent dreading your return, it's likely time that you what? Quit your job. Quit your job, guys. This is what I'm trying to get you to do. Quit your job. I am now 11 out of 12. Where are you at? Put it in the comment section. Put it in the chat section. Number 13. This definitely is me. You can't picture yourself there long term. You don't see yourself there as a long term. Okay. Similar to seeing no opportunities for growth. If you can't picture yourself being there for the rest of your work career, it may be time that you consider doing something else. It can take anywhere from a few months or a year or more to figure out if you fit into a job. I get that. But if you can't picture yourself at that company a year from now, consider quitting your job. Okay. You need to quit your job. Okay. I'm now 12 out of 13 only because one of them didn't apply. Where are you at? Are you 12 out of 13? Are you 10? Are you 7? Man, if you're getting a bunch of these, it's a sign. It's a sign. Number 14. How are we doing on time? We're doing good. I'm at 10:23. And I want your comments, guys. Don't forget to comment in there. Don't forget to use that chat section. If nothing else, tell me who you are, what's going on, what your weather is. Be part of the conversation. I always say that. Be part of the conversation. Don't be on the sidelines just listening in. Be part of the conversation. Number 14, you wouldn't want your friends and family to work there. I remember not long after I had left that business, well, several years after, one of my family members considered getting into that business. And I was like, no, don't do it. Don't get into that business. Don't do it. Okay. Because if you get into that business, it sucks you in. You make a little bit of money and it's hard to get out. So if you wouldn't recruit your friends or family to work at your company, why is it acceptable that you work there? You often want the best for your friends and family, right? Why don't you want the best for yourself? Why not give yourself what you think is the best? Why are you staying there? There are other opportunities. I know you may think, oh, there's no other opportunities, JR. You don't understand. There's nothing out there for me. Believe me, online, there's something out there for everybody. Looking at this lens, you can really help recognize why you should leave there, okay? And if you see this and you wouldn't recommend friends and family, it may be time to quit your job. I'm 13 out of 14. Where are you at? I'm 13 out of 14 right now. Number 15, this is the last one, but I've got a few other things I want to talk to you about at the end here. So don't go anywhere because this is really important that I share all this stuff with you. Everything feels overwhelming. Man, I was hit with this one. Okay, so I am 14 out of 15. Work can be stressful. I get it. But when you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious at every little setback or problem that pops up, and we had a ton of setbacks and problems, I will tell you that, or at the business I worked at, if project or work tasks that used to bring you joy are now feeling stressful and burdensome, guess what? It may be time. What? That you quit your job. Okay, it may be time you quit your job. Now let's think about all this. Considerations before you quit your job. If you've decided that quitting your job is the best decision for you, consider your timeline. When do you want to do it by? Now, I wanted to do it immediately, but I couldn't. It wasn't realistic. So my timeline was really based on what I could achieve while I was at the job. In other words, I started my business on the side, and I started making money on the side. And my goal was, once I made as much as my job paid, okay, and you know what, I'll be honest with you, I was at the point where I was so frustrated that I was like, man, if I could make half what I was making on my job and work for myself, I would be much happier. And it turned out that I ended up making a whole lot more. Now, not immediately, okay, it took some time, but you got to figure that out. You got to look at your personal situation, okay? Everybody's situation is different. If you don't have a spouse and children and mortgage and all that, you have a lot more leeway. You can do a whole lot more. If you've got children to take care of and a spouse or something like that. Now, I was a single dad, so I had my kids to take care of. So I had to consider that. And you got to look at that loss of income, because you're going to have a loss of income in the beginning, and you need to have some money put away in the bank. Now, some of you may say, JR, I don't make enough to put any money away. It's just not possible for me. Well, those are the people that I would really tell you need to make sure that you have enough money coming in then. Make sure you have enough money coming in, and you need to have probably 90 days worth of income in the bank. I did get to that point where I had 90 days. It was good. Now I have years, okay, many years. But you got to have that money set aside. That's really important, because you don't know what's going to happen. I will tell you, now, unless you're going to another job, which that wasn't even a consideration for me, but unless you're going to another job, you need to make sure you have income. If you're going directly to another job, it doesn't matter so much, okay? It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank and all that. If you think it's a secure company, secure job, you don't have to worry about it. But, you know, as I look back on what I did, I tell you, I had a lot of downturns in my business. I had a lot of points where, you know, I wasn't making a lot of money. I had a lot of points where things looked pretty bleak. But I got to tell you, knowing what it was like working at that company, knowing what my ex-bosses were like, knowing all that stuff, it made it a whole lot easier to quit my job, because I knew I didn't want to do certain things. I knew I was being compromised. I knew I wasn't being paid well. And when I think about that, I was like, well, there's no way I can go back to that. So it made me think of ways to keep from going back to that. And I hope this training today will do the same for you. Guys, if you're on this list in any big numbers, I mean, I'm 14 out of 15, so I know I did the right thing. How many was yours? Put it in the chat section, put it in the comment section. How many of these things could you relate to? Are there other things that I did not mention? Are there other things about your job that kind of send, you know, a signal to you that maybe it's time to get out of there? Time to quit your job. Okay, that's what this whole video was about. Time to quit your job. But if you ran across other things that you think are important that I did not mention, I want you to put it in that chat section. I want you to put it in that comment section. Participate, guys. I want to know who you are. You'd be amazed how many friends I have made online in these live trainings or in my videos where they'll comment, I'll comment, and one day we end up meeting up somewhere. We become friends. I help you, you help me. You never know what's going to happen. But if you don't participate, if you don't put any comments in here, if you don't use that chat section, if you don't use that comment section, we can never develop any kind of relationship. And the more relationships you can develop with people who are already making money online greatly increases your chance of making money online. You think about it, you know, whoever you hang out with is really who you become. You know, if you take the 3 people that you hang out with the most and you average their income, you probably have the same income. That's the way it is. That's why I like to hang out with people that make millions of dollars a year, because that's where I want to be. Okay, that's what we want to do in our business. And we've sold millions of dollars of products, both digital and physical online. And you've got to hang out with the right people. And the best way to start hanging out with the right people, guys, is to comment, to chat with these people, to, you know, get to know them, go to conventions and meet them. Okay, this video is not the only way, but it's a good start. It's a really good start. So you commenting makes a big difference. You watch, I'll dare you. Okay. If you comment on this video, I will come back and answer any question you have about making money online. Do it in the chat, do it in the comment section, and I will come back and I'll answer you. So make sure you do that. Guys, I want to thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. I hope you got something out of this. And if you did, I want you to share it with other people. I want you to share this video. I want you to give it a thumbs up. I want you to subscribe. I want you part of the family. We're just, I think, a little over 100 subscribers away from hitting 7,000. And when I started this channel, guess how many subscribers I had? 0. Okay, that's what everybody starts with. Don't forget to ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or if I upload a video. Really appreciate you being here. This is my birthday live. Okay, tonight we're going to go out to dinner. Not quite sure where. We discussed a couple of places, but we're going out to dinner tonight, so that should be enjoyable. I'm going to celebrate my birthday. But for the rest of the day, I'm going to go ahead and work, go to the gym, do everything I normally do. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Love you so much. Thank you. And I will see you on Wednesday of this week, which is what, 19th, 20th, 21st of this week. I will see you there. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.